Well, it wouldn't be a day if we weren't discussing T-Mobile making some trouble in the industry. Sometimes good and sometimes bad. In this instance, it looks to be pretty messy and bad. Let's discuss it here. So this is actually a follow-up story to what we've been covering in this dispute, very public spat between T-Mobile and NextWave, both of which hold licenses in the 2.5 gigahertz frequency range. For those of you that don't know, the 2.5 gigahertz spectrum band is where T-Mobile holds a large majority of their, very capacitive mid-band 5G network. It runs over N41, which is in that frequency. And there's some parts within the New York tri-state area where NextWave owns licenses in that adjacent band, in that frequency range, and there appears to be some interference. And there is I guess we'll call it an FCC filing and statement that's been submitted to the FCC from NextWave in regards to T-Mobile. And it reads something like this. T-Mobile is disobeying the rule of law. And the company went on to refer to T-Mobile as insurrectionist. I don't know if you guys know what that means. Maybe you do. You may remember the insurrection from 2020 or whatever, 1920. I forget when that was, with that whole rushing the Capitol and all that. But anyways, NextWave is arguing that T-Mobile's position on network interference is a wild assertion that would undermine the FCC's licensing regime and render 2.5 gigahertz and other spectrum licenses worthless. What they're saying is T-Mobile's not following the rules. They're violating the protocol in regards to operating spectrum licenses in neighboring bands with neighboring, holders of licenses. So what they're saying is T-Mobile's causing interference to their operations in that same frequency. So if I could make this an analogy, you have an apartment, there's an apartment next to yours. You're in your apartment, everything is fantastic, and then the person next to you is banging on the walls. The person next to you is punching holes in the walls. They're playing loud music at late hours of the night. It's just an analogy to show you being a bad neighbor. That's what this boils down to, right? What you're supposed to do is be able to operate, to some kind of a fair and civil way, where if there's any type of interference, you follow the steps to mitigate the interference, like turning down power and all those kind of things. They've got steps that they could do. There's things that they could do. But when they use the word insurrectionist, they're basically saying they're not following rules. No civil order. No attempt to fix or improve or, follow the guidelines. And you know what? They're probably right. And I'm not really trying to defend NextWave. I, for one, would love to see T-Mobile purchase NextWave, buy their spectrum from them, and just have all of those licenses for deploying a deeper, more meaningful channel of mid-band 5G that provides capacity to its customers in a really critical and important market, New York City, right in the tri-state area. So I think that's probably what the end game is going to be. It's probably going to be what it's going to take. But based on NextWave's latest filing, they're seeing this as a very serious problem. And the FCC is the one agency that's supposed to be looking over this, managing it, upholding the rules and guidelines that they put forth. And if they're not acting, this could end up in a lawsuit against the FCC and T-Mobile. And I'm not sure what the end game would be, if there would be a settlement, but why put the rules there if you're not going to follow them? I mean, that's my position. And this is the same position I had about Dish with the FCC. Why make the rules and the guidelines and the requirements only to then try to violate them or not uphold those same guidelines, rules, and recommendations? I just don't understand. This is why I've been very critical so far in the FCC. How long are you going to let this play out? When are you going to get these two groups together, put in the rules in place, make those calls, and put an end to all this? I think that's what this boils down to. So at first, you would think, okay, well, T-Mobile's the problem. And then you might say, well, listen to this side, and then NextWave's the problem. And then you'll listen, to some other position, and you're like, I don't know who's telling the truth or what it boils down to rules. If you don't enforce them, you get melee, you get madness, you get insanity, you get irrational actors, and you get a bunch of bullshit in public like this. I think it's a very telling situation of our current state of politics in the United States. Why the hell wouldn't it go into networking? Seriously. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about all this. How do you think this is all going to play out? Who's the right? Who's the wrong? How should it end? Give me your position, your opinions down in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. Check out some more of our videos. We'll see you guys soon on the next one.